Greetings, my audience. Hello. My name is Jake Allen Graham. I'm making a review video on the Dark Knight Trilogy from 2005 to 2012. Ran for 3 runs. Installments. Starring Christian Bale, directed by Christopher Nolan. I give them a 10 out of 10. All 3 installments. Now I'm going to talk about everything what I like about these train wreck of movies. I like them for different reasons. Other people might give them a 10 out of 10. And you might not like these reasons. Because I thought these movies were mediocre. Stories. Nonsense stories. Like, to me, the stories, all 3 installments, were just kind of dumb. Like, they turn a 180 and backstab you and shove a twist up your ass, the audience. And just like, both of them do that. And except for the Dark Knight. The Dark Knight, what it does is just introduce 2 villains at the halfway point, Two-Face, and they make him, instead of making him Two-Face, they make him Harvey Dent, just on a revenge plot, right, because, killing people because, and not even taking on the name Two, but just getting half burnt alive, and he doesn't have a split personality like Two-Face from the comics, or from, the anime series, or from any incarnations of Two-Face. Even the Tom Lee Jones Two-Face got that right. So this is a less accurate portrayal of Two-Face than of Batman Forever. Suck it, audience. And you liked this audience portrayal, but you hated the Tom Betrayal's tone of Two-Face, even though it wasn't accurate. Neither was this one accurate. It was just in a better movie that's more serious and edgy. So I'm going to call him Harvey Dent because the movie never calls him fucking Two-Face. Stop acting like it's a thing, internet. In the Nolan trilogy, Harvey's just a little whiny Two-Face cunt that is going on a killing spree on everyone, killing everyone that he blames for his girlfriend's death, except for the Joker that gets away scot-free and doesn't kill the fucker. He just kills everyone off. Except for the Joker that's tied between his girlfriend's death. Because that's stupid. Harvey Dent's a whiny, stupid moron. Betrayal on the Nolan trilogy. And I hate him once he becomes the villain. Because it feels forced down my throat, and I refuse to believe that this version of Harvey, of turning this Harvey evil, it was the right way to go for this version of the character. I thought it was straight up retarded. Burning his half of his face and not killing him off. Nobody survives that. Think about that in real life. And this is supposed to take place in the real world of the Nolan trilogy. That's what he wanted to focus on. But in the real world, nobody survives a half-burned body. And walks away and killing people and talking fine. And not be able to barely talk. And be able to talk somehow, function. When half of your skin's gone off. With your muscles and ligaments and shit. How is he still alive if he's in the real world? It doesn't make sense. Now I'm pretty sure it's in the comic book DC fucking world logic. Because I think whoever wrote this script forgot what world this was supposed to take place in for Nolan's trilogy. And did not understand Nolan's artistic vision for his movies. Whoever wrote the script for this movie decided to make Harvey Dent the bad guy. And burn half of his face and make him the Two-Face design. And this is stupid. Absolutely fucking retired this movie went a 180 on. Bringing Two-Face design in was stupid. Made no sense to the plot of the movie. Why not just kill both of them off, Rachel and Harvey? It would have made more sense for Batman to fail to save both of them. And it would have made more sense. It would have made the film darker and sadder. I think. That's what I think. That would be a better decision. So what the fuck we got? And that's why the Dark Knight 2000 installment, the sequel, is my least favorite in the Nolan saga. Next to Batman and Robin, 1997 flick. I like it as much as Batman and Robin, George Clooney's Batman and Robin. Oh yes, I put it on that level. I know that the level of that movie is divisive among people. Some hate that movie, some few little more people like that movie. And the internet I come across. And I gotta admit, they're all wrong. Batman and Robin, that was a better movie than The Dark Knight. It was a better popcorn movie. For me. My audience, I think. Batman and Robin was a better popcorn movie than The Dark Knight 2008. And I like George Clooney's performance more than I like Christian Bale's performance in the 2008 Dark Knight flick. Especially with his voice. His voice is silly. He sounds like a fat man. That's overweight, diabetic, just finished a marathon and never ran it for his life. Fat man. Batman sounds like in 2008's Dark Knight movie. That's what his Batman voice sounds like. Ooh, aren't you scared of a fat man? A fat diabetic? Wouldn't you be afraid? Oh, Batman, don't eat me. You'll be afraid of that man eats you. Batman. Sounds like a fat man. A fat, overweighted man. Water. I need water. I'm Batman. That's his voice. That's the best Christian voice I can give for Batman 2008. He sounds like he needs water or throat lozenges. His voice sounds like the best kind of, Sorry. Hello? Oh my goodness, I didn't know if I would stop recording. Sorry, I dropped my phone. Almost. Batman's voice in 2008, Dark Knight flick, sounds like the most silliest voice ever. I got now. Heath Ledger's voice kind of works because his voice, Heath Ledger's voice kind of works for the Joker. His voice kind of sounds like Joker orgasming during a sex with Harley Quinn. Is when the Joker talks. He sounds like he just finished banging Harley Quinn. And he's thirsty. And needs to get a drink of water. It kind of, so basically he does the same, he kind of sounds, needs water like Christian Bale, but it kind of works because he's the villain of the flick, okay? Joker is, and it works for him. Christian Bale, he's a good guy of the flick, so for him, it just sounds silly. Sorry. Doesn't work when it's the good guy. A voice like that works for a villain, not exactly a hero that Gotham needs to protect and needs to be saved from the world of villains, you know? It sounds silly. It sounds like he's trying too hard to be scary. This Batman voice that he goes for in 2008 Dark Knight film. What happened to his voice in the 2005 Batman Begins film? What was that? What was wrong with that voice? He should have kept that voice. That voice was fine. I mean, he did kind of dial it down a bit for the 2003 installment, The Dark Knight Rises 2012, but yet he didn't like dial it down enough to go back to Batman Begins level of voice straining, but this more towards the Batman Dark Knight level of straining, but less bad. Like, he sounds less like he's trying to sound evil when it's his Batman voice trying to scare people. It was his Batman voice, and it works. It doesn't always work. It was him always using that voice in scenes. Like, why does he, in The Dark Knight 2008, and also and also in 2005, in 2000 Dark Knight movie, I had this problem with the 2000 Batman Begins. Sometimes he uses his Batman voice when it's just him and Alfred. So I'm a little confused. Is that his natural voice, the Batman voice, and his brooding voice is his natural voice? I'm confused because in the content of this Batman movie, he has a normal voice, but yet, you know, he forgets he has a normal voice sometimes. When it's just him and Alfred in the Batcave, he still uses the Bat voice. Sometimes. Or when he's communicating for Alfred, it's just weird sometimes. Very inconsistent, the writing sometimes, with the Batman movies, Nolan Trilogy. Of how, when to use the voice, and when to, sometimes he doesn't have to always use it. It's just kind of stupid. This Batman is no tactical genius, unlike it's not like really a technical genius or a really smart detective or competent one. But he's definitely a brawler. More bronze than brains, I find, this Batman. That kind of bothers me a bit. We have a Batman that's just average intelligence. Seems to be. Comes across as. To me. And I hate it. That decision making. For this Batman. This is the worst Batman, for me, comic book accurate-wise, next to George Clooney. The trilogy makes the Batman look like the worst. But just big screen next to George Clooney's Batman to me. The only Batman movie that I kind of liked was The Dark Knight 2008. In the Nolan trilogy, I thought that was better than the Batman and Robin 1997 flick. The 2012 Dark Knight movie, I thought that was better than the George Clooney's Batman, but I thought the one with Heath Ledger was as good as the George Clooney movie with Batman, when he played Batman. But I thought the Batman Begins was better than the George Clooney Batman movie. But none of them were as good as the Keaton ones. Or Batman Forever, to me. Or Batman 1966, the movie. Or Mask of the Phantasm. Or the Lego Batman movie. Or Batman v Superman, Dawn of Justice. Which I consider that a Batman movie, but also a Superman movie, I consider that. And Robert Pattinson's Batman is also better, than the trilogy with, what's his name? Christian Bale. Batman. Because all of those Batmans have more brains than bronze. When they take on the mantle. Even Clooney. Isn't that great? George Clooney might be one of the most silly Batman, but he's a lot more smart than Christian Bale by the end of his run on Batman. This Batman script trilogy goes out of the way for Batman to become bankrupt and lose the CEO business after screwing the original CEO in the end of the Batman Begins movie. And he screws everyone out of money by funding the Batman and overfunding the Batman. And not funding enough in the Wayne Enterprises and using his money wisely throughout the trilogy. And the third one, it bites him in the ass. He gets cut loose as the CEO, and the new CEO who ends up being the person that Bruce Wayne sleeps with, who ends up being the new CEO, who ends up being the main villain behind Bane's all evil doings, also head League of Assassin, Talia as Al Ghul. And this also bites Batman in the butt, because he gets stabbed with a knife and gets the drop on by Bane and Talia. And the bomb is going to go off in Gotham, and he is going to fill Gotham City if it wasn't for, well, Selina Kyle stealing the Bat-Cycle and shooting Bane with a gun and killing the fucker. And that's why she doesn't feel the same way about killing like Batman does with guns. Because she just saved his life. She has a cool one-liner. Batman disposes the bomb, says he has a kiss from Selina Kyle, even though there's no autopilot. Turns out Batman lied about the autopilot not being working, because he fixed the autopilot so it does work. And he disposed bomb of Gotham, and so he ends up being okay because he had the thing on autopilot and fixed the bat signal. You know, a hot date with Selina Kyle, and Alfred sees how happy he is when having breakfast. From a distance, whispers. I don't know, we'll see him on a date with Selina. And he gets his happy ending. And just the people being Batman, I just think this is stupid. I don't like this direction. Batman being happy and still being Batman is stupid. I want to see my Batman miserable and be Batman. I want to see my Batman suffer. Those are the great Batman stories those were some of the great Batman stories what made the Batman stories some kind of great. He continues being Batman, but he suffers for it. Frank Miller knew that. That's what made Batman dark. So this movie takes all of the whole trilogy kind of takes everything that's cool and dark about Batman and puts a lot of cotton candy fluff for the family values PG-13 crowd. Fuck you, kids! Fuck you, kids, for supporting this movie. Trilogy. Oh, this is just not dark. It's just too stupid for me. Too much fluff. There's more fluff than this movie than was in 2007's Joss Whedon Justice League, where Batman was Fat Man, played by Ben Affleck. This has more of a cheese than 2017's Justice League. More cheese than Batman Robin. The whole fucking trilogy was Christian Bale starring the worst Batman I ever seen in my life perform reincarnated. I hate him more than all saw Frank Miller's Batman and Robin, where Batman laughs maniacally and says, "I'm the goddamn Batman," and kidnaps a 12-year-old traumatized Dick Grayson into being a ward against his will, and he calls Dick dense and retarded because he doesn't know who Batman is. And then he calls himself the goddamn Batman. Yes, I like the goddamn Batman that refers himself as the goddamn Batman more than Christian Bale's Batman in the Dark Knight Trilogy. Suck it. I mean it. Strike me down, God. If anyone has a problem with that, I would like to see God strike me down. On camera. I am not well. Because this Batman trilogy made me think that anybody could be Batman, play Batman. Even Kid Rock could probably play Batman and do a good job as Bruce Wayne's Batman. Why? He's white. Why not? I guess it means any white guy, if you have any white guy can play Batman. I believe now. Doesn't matter. As long as they can wear the suit and be white guy Batman and the dress, guess if he has the white, they can be Batman. That's what I believe from this Christian Bale Batman trilogy has taught me. Anybody can play Batman. This is all the evidence I need. It doesn't have to be good. It doesn't have to be what's in the comics. Good quality writing. Fuck the comics. We just want to see what Nolan has to offer us. Right? I guess because this made money all 3 installments. Because I must be wrong. Because all 3 of them made fucking a shit ton of money. Okay, that's all I gotta say. And that's why I give them a 10 out of 10. Batman trilogy was Christopher Nolan did direct. For me, they're the ultimate Batman guilty pleasure popcorn movies that are train wrecks to watch. Everything could go wrong and does go wrong in one Batman movie can go wrong. With the iconic character. Batman's not a competent detective or a competent crime fighter. He's a douchebag. Dumbass that gets lucky. With willpower in this version of Batman. I hate it. The change. Hi. My name is Jake Allen Graham. That's my review on Batman Dark Knight Trilogy with Christian Bale. And why I give it a 10 out of 10. Okay, subscribe, hit the like button, please do both, and maybe or may not, feel free to comment below, but just don't tell me to commit suicide. I have lots of depression. If you tell me to commit suicide, that might make me feel very sad, because I have struggled with suicide in the past, events of my life. I have trouble with suicidal thoughts, but I went on medication for that, and now I'm on medication, and talked about my childhood trauma that I went through as a kid, and on medication now, blah, 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 right cocktail medication, I'm on it for years, but the point is, I get sensitive when people, if someone would tell me to go kill myself. I find that sad. So, whatever you comment below, just make sure it's not anything telling me to end my life. That's just taking things too far, I think. I hear some comments can be very cruel, like that. But I don't really get comments on that often, so I'm just saying, don't be cruel. too cruel was the comment section. Okay. I think that made sense. I'm not trying to lecture anybody, but I hope that made sense. What I said out loud in my head, I bet made more sense than out loud to me. Okay, subscribe please. Grow my subscribers and hit the thumbs up please. I really want you to subscribe and like the video more than I want you to comment below. Helps my channel more with the subscribing and liking. Okay, bye.